My wife called me boring because I wouldn't party anymore. I was busy working double shifts so she could stay home with our kids. One day, my son asked, "Why does mommy kiss Uncle Jake when you're not home?" I laughed, until I checked the baby monitor history. They weren't just kissing. I transferred the footage to a USB, left it on her pillow, and took the kids to my mom's. When she called, screaming, "You're tearing this family apart," I said, "You did that when you made my brother your secret husband." Jake's wife. My name's Rob. I'm 36. I live just outside Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I work at a mechanic shop, 6 days a week, sometimes 7. 2 kids. Married for 9 years. My wife's name is Shannon. Or was, I guess. That depends on how this story ends. We had our first kid when I was 28, Tyler. He came early. Things were tight, so I picked up double shifts. I was gone a lot. Shannon wanted to stay home, and I wanted that too. I wanted to be the kind of man who gave his family peace. Stability. So I worked. I kept working. I thought that was love. But Shannon started changing. Slowly. She'd make little comments when I came home late, covered in oil and sweat. "You smell like a gas station," she'd say. No smile. Or, "Can't believe you're still working at that dump." At first, I ignored it. People get tired. Maybe she was overwhelmed. But then she started saying other things. "You're boring now." That one hit different. It was a Thursday. I just walked in, and she was sitting on the couch in a tight shirt, scrolling through her phone. I brought Chinese food. Her favorite. Sesame chicken. She didn't look up. "You're boring now," she repeated. "You used to take me out. Dance. Do stupid stuff." "I'm working so you don't have to," I said, trying not to sound pissed. "So our kids can eat." "Whatever," she mumbled. It's not the same. That wasn't the first time. Or the last. She'd started going out more, said she needed me time. At first, it was just her and some other moms from the neighborhood. Then it was bars. Girls' nights. Sometimes she'd come home at 1 a.m., makeup smeared, smelling like tequila and perfume. I asked her once, "You okay?" She rolled her eyes. "I'm not your child. I need a life." I said, "You have one." She muttered, "Yeah. Boring." I let it go. I always let it go. I didn't want to fight. I just wanted peace. For my kids. For myself. I told myself it would pass. Then my brother Jake started coming around more. Jake's 33. Lives in Franklin. Married to Danielle. No kids yet. Jake's the kind of guy who lights up a room. Always has a story. Always has a beer in hand. People love him. He used to come by on weekends. Bring beer. Watch football. I didn't mind. The kids loved him. He'd throw Tyler around and make Abby giggle. But then he started dropping by when I wasn't home. Shannon would say he was helping her fix stuff. Or just keeping her company. I should have asked more questions. One night, I came home early. Jake was there. Sitting on the couch with Shannon. Real close. Too close. They jumped up when I walked in, said they were watching something on Netflix. I wanted to believe them. A week later, Tyler, my 6-year-old, said something that cracked my whole world in half. It was Saturday morning. I was in Abby's room changing her diaper. Tyler was eating cereal in the living room. He wandered in and stood in the doorway. "Daddy?" "Yeah, bud?" "Why does mommy kiss Uncle Jake?" I stopped mid-wipe. Where'd you hear that? I saw it. On the couch. They were kissing when you were at work. I laughed. I had to. A tight, confused kind of laugh. What kind of kiss? Like you kiss her when you say happy birthday. I didn't say anything. I didn't ask more. I finished changing Abby and tried to shove it out of my brain. But I couldn't. That night, when the kids were asleep, I sat in the kitchen. Shannon was in bed. I opened my laptop. We had a baby monitor in Abby's room with cloud backup. Audio. Video. It was old, but still worked. I never really used the app, but I logged in. And I watched. At first, it was normal. Abby sleeping. Her mobile spinning. Then I hit a video from 4 days earlier. 2:17 p.m. Jake walks in the front door. Shannon meets him in the hallway. They talk for a few seconds. She's smiling. He touches her arm. Then they kiss. Not a quick kiss. Not a peck. A deep kiss. The kind that says, "We've done this before." Then they disappear into the guest bedroom. I stared at the screen. I don't know how long. My heart felt like it stopped. I watched another clip. Then another. Different days. Different angles. Sometimes they kissed. Sometimes she sat in his lap. Sometimes she closed the blinds before he got there. It wasn't just kissing. I saved every file. Copied the best ones onto a USB stick. I wrote one thing on it in black Sharpie: "Play me." That night, after she fell asleep, I walked into our room and placed the USB on her pillow. Right next to her head. I didn't say a word. I packed a bag for Tyler and Abby. I loaded them into my truck. Drove to my mom's. The kids thought it was a sleepover. They were excited. I smiled. Lied. Said it was just for fun. The next morning, Shannon called. "What the hell is this?" she screamed. "Where are you?" "Mom's," I said. "Why is this on my pillow?" "What the fuck is this, Rob?" "You know what it is. You're tearing this family apart." "No," I said. "You did that when you made my brother your secret husband." Silence. Then more screaming. Denial. Gaslighting. "You don't understand. It was just once. We were drunk." I hung up. Then I sent the footage to Danielle. No message. Just the files. She called me 15 minutes later. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. He said it was nothing," she sobbed. "But I saw it. You sent me the truth." I didn't say much. 2 hours later, Jake showed up at her place. I know because Danielle sent me a video. She was standing in the front yard, holding his Xbox. She'd poured gasoline on it. "You like sneaking around?" she yelled. Jake said something I couldn't hear. Then she lit a match. That Xbox went up in flames. He screamed at her, tried to grab it. She shoved him hard. "Touch me again and I swear to God I'll make your life hell." He backed off. The neighbors came out. Watched everything. Nobody helped him. I stood at my mom's window, Abby in my arms. Tyler was watching cartoons. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel good. But I felt clear. The next few days were quiet, but that kind of quiet where you know something's coming. Like the air before a storm. Shannon didn't call again. Not right away. I figured she was stewing, or maybe trying to clean things up before it spread. But word gets around fast in small towns. Especially when your brother's wife burns his Xbox in the front yard in front of half the neighborhood. Monday morning, I got a call from the school. Tyler got into a fight. I was there in 30 minutes. He was sitting in the front office, arms crossed, face red. Principal told me he punched another kid for saying, "Your mom kisses your uncle." I didn't even have words. My son. 6 years old. Already carrying the weight of this. When we got back to my mom's house, I told Shannon to come get him. I couldn't look him in the eye without wanting to scream, and I wasn't going to dump all that on him. She showed up 20 minutes later, wearing sunglasses like she thought she was famous. First thing she said when I opened the door. "You made this worse than it had to be." I laughed, bitter. "You serious? I told you it was a mistake. But you had to go and show everyone. Even Danielle?" "That was low." "Not lower than screwing your husband's brother," I said. We stood there, face to face. The air was heavy. "I want my family back," she said. "We can work through this." I stared at her for a long time. Then I said, "There is no we anymore." That night, I got a message on Facebook from Jake. Just one line, "We need to talk." I ignored it. Next day, another message. "I'll make it right. Just let me explain." I blocked him. Then came the letters. He left one at the shop. A handwritten apology. Said he'd gone through a rough patch with Danielle. That Shannon filled a void. That he hated himself every day. He ended it with, "You're still my brother." I crumpled it up and threw it in the oil bin. Later that week, my mom sat me down. "You need to know something," she said. "What?" "Jake's not the only one Shannon was close with." I just stared. "She used to come here when you were working. Told me she was lonely." I didn't think much of it at the time, but there were other guys she messaged. I saw the names on her phone. I felt sick. So I did what I should have done months ago. I checked the phone records. There were dozens of numbers I didn't recognize. Calls. Texts. Some at 3 a.m. A couple during the days I was in the hospital last year with that back injury. Shannon wasn't lonely. She was living a whole other life. I confronted her again. This time, at the house. Just me and her. No kids. No yelling. "Be honest," I said. "Was it just Jake?" She didn't answer. "I already know," I added. She started to cry. But I'd seen enough of those tears to know they weren't real. "You wanted fun," I said. "Well, this is what that costs." I left her standing in the kitchen. And that night, I called a lawyer. A week after I contacted the lawyer, I got served with papers. Not divorce papers, custody papers. Shannon was filing for full custody. Said I was emotionally unstable, said I abducted the kids when I took them to my mom's. Claimed I was trying to alienate her from her children. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the paperwork. My lawyer, a tough-as-nails woman named Donna, told me not to panic. "They're swinging wild because they're cornered," she said. "Let them. The truth is on our side." Still, it messed with my head. I was the one who worked 2 jobs while she played house with my brother. I was the one who stayed up at night holding Abby when she had night terrors. I taught Tyler how to ride a bike. I cooked breakfast every Sunday. I cleaned puke, wiped tears, read bedtime stories. But now I was the threat. Donna filed a response immediately, along with the footage and phone records. We also requested a mental health evaluation, for her. That must have rattled her, because 2 days later she showed up unannounced at my job. I was under the hood of a Civic when she walked in. Tight jeans. Push-up bra. Makeup like she was going to a club. You don't have to do this, she said, smiling like we were still married. We can figure this out. Without lawyers. I wiped my hands on a rag. You mean I stop the custody fight and pretend none of this happened? She shrugged. We could co-parent. Stay married. For the kids. You filed for full custody. I didn't mean it like that. I stared at her, and I said something I never thought I'd say, I'm not scared of you anymore. She didn't expect that. Her face changed. Cold, fast. Like a mask slipping. You'll regret this, she said, low and sharp. You'll end up alone. No, I said. You will. She stormed out. But it wasn't over. Later that night, Danielle called. You need to see this, she said. She sent me a screenshot. It was from a fake Facebook profile. A woman named Karen Riley, obviously fake, had posted in a local mom group, "Don't let your kids near Robert Fields, he's unstable and drinks around his children. Just ask his wife." It had Shannon's fingerprints all over it. Danielle commented on it instantly, "You mean the Robert whose wife slept with his brother? That Robert?" The post got deleted 5 minutes later. But I'd saved it. So did Donna. And then something else happened I never expected. Jake showed up at my door. My mom answered. She didn't slam it. She just stared at him and said, "You better have something real to say." He stood there, holding a folder. Hands shaking. "I'm testifying," he said. "For Rob. I'll sign whatever he needs." I stepped onto the porch. "Why now?" I asked. "Because she turned on me too," he said. "Told me I was nothing. Said I ruined her life. Danielle's gone. My house is empty. And, she's already talking to some guy named Marcus. Saw it on her phone." "Who's Marcus?" "No idea," he said. "But I saw the texts. She's calling him her future." I felt nothing. Just cold clarity. I took the folder. Inside was a written statement, signed and dated, admitting to the affair. He also handed over screenshots of his texts with Shannon, including ones where she mocked me. One said, "He still thinks working late makes him a good husband. LOL, another, "You and I are real. He's just the paycheck." I didn't say thank you. I didn't forgive him. But I handed it to Donna the next morning. She smiled for the first time. "This custody battle just turned into a landslide," she said. The custody hearing came 6 weeks later. I wore my best suit. Donna told me to keep my answers short and honest. Let Shannon talk herself into a corner. She did. Her lawyer painted me as rigid, emotionally distant, and uninvolved. Then Donna stood up and played the baby monitor footage on a small screen for the courtroom. The room went quiet. After that, she handed the judge the statement Jake signed. The texts. The phone records. The Facebook post. Shannon didn't say much after that. But Jake did. He testified in person. He sat there, looking pale and tired, and told the truth. "I betrayed my brother. I take full responsibility. But Shannon lied to both of us. She played us." Shannon cried. Tried to act hurt. But it was too late. The judge didn't drag it out. Full custody to me. Supervised visitation for her. Shannon screamed when she heard it. "In what world does he get the kids?" The judge banged the gavel. "In this one." I didn't look at her when I left the courtroom. I just held Abby in one arm, took Tyler's hand with the other, and walked out into the sun. I thought that would be the end. But revenge, real revenge, it doesn't come fast. It comes in waves. A few days later, I found out Shannon tried to move in with Marcus. He kicked her out after 1 week. Said she was obsessed with her ex and couldn't stop talking about me. She tried to sue me for alimony. Didn't get a dime. Then she tried to use social media to get sympathy. Said I manipulated the system and stole her kids. People didn't buy it. Especially not after Danielle went public with her own screenshots. Everything Shannon ever said in those texts, every cruel, selfish word, was out in the open. Then came the part one didn't expect. Jake moved away. Out of state. I thought he'd just disappear. But he didn't. He sent me one last letter. Said he was in therapy. Said he was sober. Said he understood if I never wanted to speak again. I never wrote back. But I kept the letter. Because I made mistakes too. I let my marriage rot while I worked myself to death. I didn't pay attention. I missed the signs. I thought being a provider was enough. It wasn't. Now I try to be present. Not just for my kids, but for myself. I don't date. I don't drink. I go to work, I come home, and I talk to my kids about everything. I listen when they speak. I ask them how they feel. A month ago, Tyler asked me something. Dad, do you still love Mommy? I thought about it for a long time. Then I said, I love the part of her that gave me you. He nodded. Didn't ask again. That night, after they went to bed, I took the USB drive out of the drawer. The one I left on Shannon's pillow. I walked to the backyard. Lit a fire. And threw it in. Not because I forgave her. But because I didn't need it anymore. I already won. And she lost everything. Not because I took it from her. But because she threw it away.